Hey Henry, it's Craig. We're going to do a little bit of TC University here. So I've had to rejig my camera to get access to my whiteboard, and I know it's a little bit far away. So hopefully, just with me chatting and kind of giving the drawings on the whiteboard here, you'll get a sense of what I'm getting at. My understanding is that you want stereo monitoring at your keyboard of both the front of house monitor mix and whatever your VoiceLive Touch or Touch 2 is doing. Plus you want a third FX150 that's going to carry a mono-summed version of those stereo signals you're hearing that you can send out to somewhere else, out to the crowd or as a different monitor. So I think the best way you're going to be able to achieve this is actually just through a little bit more wacky wiring than it is through using the mono outs of the FX150s. We don't have an opportunity to send a stereo signal back out of any of the FX150s, even though they can take in the auxiliary signal in stereo. So you're going to want to make sure that you do it kind of with some cabling stuff. So let me just make sure we got this right. You have one FX150 you want to use as a left. Another one you want to use as right. And another one that you want to have as a mono monitor. You've also got the front of house and the TC-H unit. So you got front of house over here, TC-H unit here. Okay, let's start doing the connection. You're saying you're getting XLR outputs from the front of house and you want those in stereo. What I would do is run the XLR out to channel 1 on the first FX150. Run a second XLR out from front of house into channel 1 of the second FX150. Put both of these units into channel 1 mode. Okay, now what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to only send out of the output what's coming into channel 1, and that's going to be key for getting the stuff to the next FX150. So that will allow you to hear auxiliary inputs on these ones, but it won't send them back out the outputs. So then what I would do is, this is where you're going to need a little bit of splitting. You're going to want to go from the headphone output of the TC-H unit, you're going to want to split it twice. So you're going to want to get an initial stereo splitter, okay? And from that stereo splitter, you want to use 2 more stereo cables. You want to split it again, basically split twice. On the second split, the one that splits into 2, you're going to want to run one into the aux of the first FX150 and one into the aux of the second FX150. Because they're stereo and you're going to split, you're going to want these to go only like you're going to want a mono splitter, like one side each of mono. You can still plug it with a stereo cable afterwards, but you're going to want this to come out as a stereo split and then go into another 1/8" splitter that's just left and just right. Send one of those to each one of the FX150s. On that other split that you've got, the third split here, you want to maintain it in stereo and go over to the aux input on the third FX150. Now you're going to want to take the output of the first FX150 here, the left one, and you're going to want to run that to channel 1 on the third FX150. And you're going to want to take the output from the other FX150 here, and you're going to want to run it into channel 2. So then what you're going to have here, obviously no tone, no reverb or anything, you're going to have the stereo coming in, which is going to be your channel 1 and channel 2, so you can sum those together yourself, just make sure they're the right levels. And you're going to have your aux input coming in, which is going to automatically sum the input from the TC-H unit. So where you're sitting, you're going to have a stereo mix of your front of house mix and your TC-Helicon unit that's coming in, and you're going to be able to send that mix along to your mono third device. I think that's what you're getting at. That's the way I would do it. It's a little bit more complex on the cabling setup, especially getting that double sort of stereo split coming out of the headphone output. But I think that's the easiest way to go, considering that we can't bring anything into the FX150 in stereo and also send it out in stereo. We have to turn to mono, so I'm trying to get over that little hump. Let me know if that hits the mark for you. I think that would work. All right, take care.